My name is Margherita Sani and I represent NEMO, the Network of European Museum Organizations. I'm here today with Grazia Tucci of ICOMOS, and I would like to pose her a few questions about ICOMOS and ECCOS. And ICOMOS, as we know, is a widely recognized international organization in the cultural heritage sector. So what perspectives does ICOMOS bring to a project like ECCOS?
Before data, there is a heritage. Cultural heritage is the memory of our societies. It tells us who we are, where we come from, and what we choose to transmit to future generations. For more than 60 years, ICOMOS has worked around the world to understand, protect, and care for monuments and heritage sites. Through this experience, we have built a strong body of knowledge, scientific, methodological, and ethical, about how heritage should be studied, documented, and preserved. ICOMOS is building a digital infrastructure for cultural heritage data across Europe, and the role of ICOMOS is to help ensure that these new digital ecosystems remains firmly grounded in heritage knowledge. But ICOMOS is not only observing this transformation. It is a global community of professionals working directly on heritage sites. So we see digital innovation not only as something to evaluate, but also as an opportunity. Tools that can strengthen conservation practice and deepen our understanding of heritage over the long term.
So having said this, and because ICOMOS is mainly working with built heritage, how do digital infrastructures like ECCOS change the way, or you imagine will change the way in which ICOMOS works and approaches heritage conservation?
What changes is the scale of knowledge we can build. Today, conservation is not only about physical interventions. It is also about understanding change, monitoring conditions, anticipating risks, and planning strategies for the future. And all of this relies on information. Digital infrastructure like ECCOS allow us to connect many different kinds of knowledge, 3D documentation, historical sources, scientific analysis, and conservation records. And when these elements are brought together, they give us a much deeper understanding of heritage. From the perspective of ICOMOS, the key point is simple. Technology must serve conservation. Digital tools should help us make better decisions, share knowledge more widely, and ultimately care for heritage more effectively.
Yeah, sure, of course. And large digital infrastructures rely on huge amounts of data. So from the perspective of ICOMOS, how is the issue of data quality and standards important?
For ICOMOS, quality has always been essential. Already in 1990s, with the SOFIA principles on heritage documentation, ICOMOS stressed the importance of reliable and well-structured documentation. The idea was very clear. If information is not coherent and accessible, it cannot truly support knowledge. Today, digital infrastructure like ECCOS allow these principles to be applied on a much larger scale. Through interoperability frameworks and shared semantic models, data from different sources can finally be connected. And quality is not only technical, it is also about responsibility. When we document heritage, we are creating knowledge that should remain meaningful for future generations.
Yeah. And to close, I would say, let's look at the concrete and practical approach with which ICOMOS and ICOS are interacting. In practical terms, how is ICOMOS contributing to the development of initiatives like ICOS?
ICOMOS contributes through its international community of experts and through its scientific committees. In particular, ICOMOS has involved the International Scientific Committee on Heritage Documentation, CIPA HD, and CIPA HD focuses specifically on the documentation of cultural heritage and brings together specialists in conservation and digital recording technologies. Through this community, ICOMOS can engage directly with initiatives like ICOS. CIPA has a strong and a long experience in integrating heritage knowledge with technologies such as photogrammetry, laser scanning, and 3D modeling. This makes it a natural interface between the heritage community and emerging digital infrastructures. In this way, digital innovation remains closely connected to the real needs of heritage documentation and conservation.
Thank you, Grazia.
Thank you to you.